So Saturday, I did 2 Amazon Flex blocks in one day. And I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I don't even know if it was worth it. Like, yeah, I made money, but after gas, time, and everything that I went through, we need to talk. Hey y'all, I'm James Etta, just call me Jamie. Welcome back to another video. Hey y'all, happy Monday. Okay, we need to talk. If you've ever done Amazon Flex or you are thinking about doing Amazon Flex in 2026, this is going to help you decide if it's actually worth it. I'm going to break down how much I made, how long it took me, what I dealt with, and if I would do it again. So my first block was from 5:30 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. for $90. And I had a total of, I want to say 38 packages, if I can remember correctly. And I had to drive all the way to, I'm trying to remember where they sent me at for the first block. I remember where they sent me at for the second block, but the first block, I can't remember. But I know it was far because it seemed like they always sending me far somewhere. And then on top of that, you have to add the traffic onto that. You got to think about the distance you driving there and the distance you driving back, because for that 4-hour block, they gave me $90. So I'm going to that location, and I don't believe that's including driving back home, that $90. So what you're going to have to do is subtract gas from that. Now, depending on that day or not, sometimes I have a full tank of gas, sometimes I have to fill my gas tank up. But I know currently right now in this economy, it takes $50 to fill up my gas tank, wherein when gas was low, it didn't take that much. It maybe took like 20 something, $30. But it takes $50 to fill up my gas tank. And then, the distance you have to drive. So like I said, that $90 subtracting, I'll say if I had to fill my gas tank up, because I had a full tank of gas going in, $90 subtracting $50, really you only left with $40 when you subtract gas. And then on top of that, if you're taking taxes out, so it's really less than that. But we'll get into that a little later. And then, if you see me looking off, that's because I'm looking at my notes, because I wrote some things down. And then you have to think about apartments versus houses. And y'all know I have an issue with the apartments, because whether it's me doing Walmart Spark or if it's me doing Amazon Flex, when it comes to Amazon Flex and I'm doing early morning blocks or late night blocks, a lot of times those customers do not, and especially if they live in a gated community, a lot of times they don't leave an access code to get inside of their apartment. And that slows you up when it's coming to delivery, because Amazon has it wherein you can't call the customer at a certain time of the morning. So I want to say is you can't call a customer before 8 o'clock in the morning, and I can't remember what time it is at night. But if I'm trying to get in the apartment complex, because the code that they left, or if they did not leave, doesn't work, then that slows you up. You have to call support, and then support has to try to figure out if the customer left anything, or if another way you can get in the apartment. And if you can't get in the apartment, then support might say something like, hey, is there a safe location you can leave it? And a lot of times there's not no safe location you can leave their package. So you have to keep their package and move on to the next stop. That's what I have an issue with a lot of the times, because it slows me up from the other customers and delivering their package. And I always tell y'all, I prefer houses over apartments. I have always preferred houses over apartments. Even when I was at one time living in an apartment, I was like, I can't do this. let me go ahead and move out me an apartment and move into a house. But that's not what we're here for. We're here for to talk about, is Amazon Flex worth it in 2026? And then don't let me get on the confusion when it comes to stops. Okay, because the GPS could give you certain problems, like as far as messing up, or they want you to go this direction and you've been going the wrong direction. So now you got to bust a U-turn and go back and try to find the proper way to get to that person. Let's not get on that. But I will tell you, this is where it started getting a little annoying. It starts getting annoying when it comes to Amazon Flex, wherein you have to drive long distances. And I'm just thinking, why doesn't Amazon Flex just place you in an area based off your address? No, it don't work like that. They're going to place you what they have available. See, what a lot of y'all don't know, and what a lot of y'all who are interested in doing Amazon Flex, a lot of times when you go to these warehouses and pick up your package, the warehouse doesn't choose the route for you. Support chooses, I guess, the route for you in their system. So if something goes wrong with that route, you have to call support, because the warehouse will tell you, quick, call support. Or if they don't have a route for you, call support. But the long distances, it gets annoying. And then, like I tell y'all, the gas. Okay, the hard deliveries. It's the mixtures of the apartments versus the houses. It's just, some of these packages can be hard. And this is just the part that people really don't talk about. And it just gets a little annoying, very annoying. Now, I'm going to tell y'all about the second route that I had. The second route that I had was the same time. It was 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. I had to go all the way to Dallas, Georgia, and it was for $90 as well. And it took me, for both blocks, for the first block, it took me, I want to say I was done before 9 o'clock with the first block. And for the second block, I was done probably by 8:30. Because see, I don't, when it comes to me delivering packages, I don't waste no time. I don't bull fumble around. I get what I need to do. I get in rotation, get what I need to do, put them packages in my vehicle, and I go ahead and head to the first stop. I don't bum fumble around, chit chat with this person, chit chat with that person, mess around and try. I even stopped scanning. The package. Because depending on the warehouse I go to, is if you got a scan or not. And lately I've been going, I bounced from Fairburn and Lithia Springs warehouse. Lately I've been going to Lithia Springs. With that warehouse, they have it wherein they go by AAA, BBB, CCC, DDD. With the packages, I just put all the A's together, the B's together, the C's together, and the D's together. Put it in my vehicle. After I put it in my vehicle, I go ahead and head to the first stop. That frees up some time to hurry up and get that package to that first person. Yeah, I might have to dig through those little sections, but hey, that's less time I spent at the warehouse bum fumbling trying to scan that package. But like I told y'all, for both blocks, each block paid $90. So for that day, I made a total of $180. Now, we're going to subtract gas from that. So I told you to fill up my gas tank, it's like $50. So out of that $90, we're going to subtract $50. Out of that $180, we're going to subtract $50 out of that. And I'm going to do the calculation for y'all. So that left me with $130. And let's not forget about tax. So when you take tax out of it as well, I'm left with $91. I'm left with $91 for 2 routes that I did. And I will tell you this, by the time that I got to that second block, I was already at that point like, this ain't even worth it. I'm tired. I'm ready for this to be over. Because by that second block, they gave me 42 packages, and I had to drive all the way to Dallas, Georgia to deliver those packages. And that's a little ways from where I live at. So I want to be real with y'all for a second. Total time spent was 8 hours when I include both routes. I earned a total of $180. And y'all know my body. Your girl gotta get back in this gym, but we not gonna get on that. I went to the gym this morning though, so we'll save that for another vlog. And then my stress level is high at that. And because on paper it looks so good, but in real life, Amazon Flex can be very stressful. It can be very, very stressful. So do y'all believe that Amazon Flex is worth it in 2026? I'll say the pros of Amazon Flex is the flexibility of it, because it's very flexible. You schedule Amazon Flex when you want to schedule Amazon Flex based off your schedule and your time. It's also quick money, and you are your own boss. That's the pros of Amazon Flex. That's what I love about Amazon Flex. But you know, every job or every side hustle has its cons. It's always going to be some cons in there. And I will say that when it comes to cons, y'all know you got to think about the gas. You got to think about the wear and tear on your vehicle, especially if that's your only vehicle. You got to think about the inconsistent routes, because you don't know where they might send you. They could send you an hour out to maybe 2 hours out. It just depends. They could send you from one side of town to the other side of town that you are not familiar with. It just depends on where they need you. And then you got to think about the time versus the pay. And is it worth it? The time that you put in, is the pay matching up with the time that you have put in? And I'm going to say this. Currently, my Walmart Spark video is at 40,000 plus views right now. So I know a lot of y'all are coming from that video. And comparing the two, it is a difference. So is Amazon Flex worth it? I would say Amazon Flex is worth it depending on your situation. If you need some fast cash, if you need to catch up on some bills, if you're trying to make some money, it's worth it. It just depends on your situation. So would I do it again? Yeah, but it just depends on my situation. Or if I just want to make some extra money, I don't have nothing to do. So if you are doing Amazon Flex, comment down below. Do you think it's still worth it in 2026? And if you want me to keep doing real, honest videos like this, make sure you subscribe, like, comment, and share. And I will catch you on the next one. Bye.